My name is Chris Brandt, and snowmobiling is my passion. This wide-open podcast is here to share stories, tips, and tactics to make you a more successful backcountry rider.
All right. Dude, this is like our 4th podcast. That's like 4 more than we did last year. I'm just kidding. We actually did some last year. But we're here at Heydays. Again, I've got 2 of my good pals here, Sam Peterson, Toby Shepard. What's up, boys?
Not much. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yep, excited to be here.
Can you believe summer is over already?
I
Well,
know,
it's not technically over. My wife reminds me. I'm like, summer's over. She's like, it's not over.
It does not feel like it should be September, but
Yeah.
it's just the way it goes.
Yep. Well, we're sitting here in the climb booth. Yesterday was so awesome here at Heydays. Tons of people. Everyone's excited. Lots of people got screwed with no snow last year, so they're like, all we need is a little bit of snow so we can go ride our snowmobiles again.
I know. Yeah, leave it to Chris. Heydays, it's not like we get enough talking in already. We got to wake up and do another podcast
Heck
and
yeah,
talk
dude.
some more.
Hey, man, I live snowmobiles. That's all I care about.
I know.
So, well, let's for those of you guys who don't know these knuckleheads, Sam and Toby are at the forefront on the hill climb racing circuit. You guys, it was super impressive last year seeing what you guys did. Toby, I was like your number one cheerleader out there, dude. I loved seeing your aggression last year. I think it was something you could see in the results. Loved your performance at Jackson, especially on the old sled.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Sam, you're at the top, bud. Winning classes, just having it's such a razor's edge where you guys, and I'll have you guys talk about this, but you guys are going so fast that it's either like a good run or you kind of blow it. Because you have to be on that level, right?
For sure. There's higher competition than there's ever been. I mean, I don't think anyone would doubt that.
No, there's the margin for error is. I mean, you cannot make one mistake if you want to win. I mean, especially when you got Keith and Andy. Everybody's always saying, they're like, oh, Keith, he's kind of slowing down, in his age, and it's like, no, he's not.
No.
Everybody else is just stepping it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you used to be 2 or 3 or 4 deep that could win, and you're legitimately 10 deep.
Wow.
Your qualifiers, there's classes where any qualifier could win, which has been really rare.
Does it make qualifying a little nerve-wracking?
Oh, it raises the bar for everybody.
Yeah.
Qualifying, it's no joke. You used to have qualifying pace and then race pace, and it's just you have to go race pace.
Wow.
On Saturday or Friday.
Yeah.
To get an opportunity to go on Sunday.
The one thing I have struggled with I have done a few hill climbs at Jackson. That's the only thing I've done. But I know just enough to be dangerous as far as what it takes for you guys from a prep standpoint, from sleds and trucks and trailers and testing and practice sleds and race sleds and all that stuff, and then you're all relying on a qualifying run to see if you could go run finals.
Yep.
It's like, good Lord, that's terrifying to me.
Well,
especially at Jackson, because it's qualifying is very, very slim.
You say
Jackson.
Qualifying at Jackson to any RMSHA racer, anybody that's ever been there, and they're just like, oh. It's cutthroat, man. Keith and I qualified 3 classes this year. And they take 5 out of 20-some riders, and one blurp with the throttle, and you are out.
Jeez.
It's insane. And anymore, you used to be able to get, when Toby's dad was racing, you could have the technical edge, the mechanical edge. Now, the players' factory race team, we're all running pretty much the same stuff. Mm-hmm. It's the rider.
It comes down to the rider.
Yep. Yeah. And the course has changed where, you're on the bottom of the hill where, it's hard to create any room for error.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Toby, what sleds did you run last year?
So I'm still running a lot of mods. I still have an old 600 mod, and then 650 boost, which basically boost with a 650 top end, and then then the big boy 900,
Uh-huh.
a 900 boost, and then I did run 9 and 1000 improved, which is basically a twin pipe 900 motor from Jack.
Okay.
So,
Is it
all
a
fun sleds?
Is it a 9R or is it Jack's 900?
It is a 9. Well, yeah, it started as a 9R.
Okay, a 9R.
yeah.
I think Jack added some porting.
Yeah. Cool.
Essentially the same motor.
Awesome.
So-
Yeah, and we're talking about Jack at Carl Cycles. Obviously, guys, I've ran the Carl's 900 for a long time, and now that we have 9R. Sam, what sleds were you running last year?
So I had it pretty simple. I got Keith's old mod from the year before, his 900 boost. He kind of did the training on that, and so that sled knew what it was doing. And
Yeah.
It was kind of frustrating for Keith, because it was all dialed in. He was used to it. All I had to do was plug and play, and then a stock 9R I ran in 9 and 1000 stock, and then a stock boost I ran in open stock. So I had to build 2 sleds that were stock sleds that you don't have to do much to them. So
That's not too bad for you
was
last
nice.
year, was it?
It was really nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what, so I rode, again, back in the day, right, at Jackson. I ran some stock stuff, and then, I'd show up with my big turbo cat, and I never made it over on a turbo, but I would smoke up there on a 600 because I could just hold it wide open
Yep.
and be in control. Which sleds do you guys enjoy riding? And not just Jackson, but and I know all the tracks are a little different. I mean, you look at Afton versus a ski resort type track. It's way different. But
Yep.
what's your favorite sled to ride, Toby?
Yeah, I mean, it's no doubt 900 boost, and it's tough to control. It's common to be faster on less horsepower because it's tough to ride horsepower, especially when you're hooked up with screws and trying to shoot through gates, as fast as you can. But I was running a lot of stock and improved stuff until I got to a point where it was like, okay, I want to build a mod, with the. And after doing that, I don't want to run anything but a mod.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to. I love stock sleds; they're amazing backcountry. But on a race course, you go through the lights. And
Toby.
whether you do well
Toby's
or not.
the mod guy.
Yeah.
He's the one who can ride a mod to its full capability.
Yeah, and it just puts a smile on your face, And I made the decision at that when I decided to go to mods. Qualifying in Jackson, I went home on Friday. I didn't qualify for the weekend. So 0 for 5.
Dude.
Didn't have stuff dialed in quite good enough, whether it was a clutch weight or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was 4 seconds slow to the first corner.
Yeah.
And I went home on Friday, and I said, I'm never doing that again. Mm-hmm. I'm going to qualify to the top on Saturday with mods. And that was that was it.
So and just to clarify, so not this year, it was last year. Is it when you were talking about when you didn't qualify?
Oh, I think it was 2017.
Yeah, sorry. So
Yeah.
what he's saying, guys, is so at Jackson, and I went through the same thing. I signed up for the stock classes, and at Jackson, you don't have the opportunity to qualify or to run the entire hill in the stock qualifying classes. You only go to the first catwalk.
Yep.
But in mod class, you qualify to the top. And so I did this. I had the same thing. I show up there. I signed up for all these stock classes, and I sucked, and I was slow, and I didn't even get a chance to run the hill. I'm like, I said the same thing. I'm like,
I got to run a mod.
I got to run mods. So, yeah.
Well, and I mean, everyone asks, the world's best snowmobile. RMSHA is its own sport. I mean, it's really hard to come to 1 or 2 races and do well.
Wow, and that's everyone's like, why aren't you going to Jackson? I'm like, I love going there, and I can get in the right mindset to go have fun and just try to make it to the top, but you guys know, I mean, it's no different than going in the backcountry. I'm not going there to just ride. I'm going there to compete against against myself, against the terrain, and be the like be the best.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not what I do. I don't have the sled set up. I don't practice. It's a different riding. It's all of that. So like, I mean, now would I go do it on some old sleds to go have some fun? Yeah, I'm in.
I think Jack's is just gonna turn into a vintage class one day. It's not. They're gonna be
never mind
your
what they
guys'
do.
new stuff. Like,
Yeah.
let's see the old stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to see the excitement and
Yeah.
what everyone brought this year. I was like, holy cow, everyone's ready. Sam, what's your favorite sled to ride on the circuit?
I mean, I'm with Toby now on the 9 Boost, but like previously, so this was my first year in all the big classes, and that's basically 900 and up. The big, I guess the main focus classes for Polaris Skidoo is the stock 9R 1000 stock, and then your stock boost, which is open stock, and then the 9 and open mods. And that's where all the factory mods are. So
a lot of pressure on that class, isn't it?
I was so nervous,
OEMs.
nervous coming into this season because I've always had those like 2 or 3 700 classes, the smaller CC.
To get warmed up?
Well, not only to get warmed up, but just like pay the bills, basically. Not having to compete against Keith in every class, and so I was nervous, but man, when I was running those classes, those 700s, Jack Carl Cycle, he built basically a unicorn. They built twin pipe 650s, like race pipes, and we put a bunch of time into them. And I think Cole and I were the only 2 that had them.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just running stock 650s. But 700 improved was my last class of the day on that 650, and it was. I'd say about 75 to 80% of the time I was faster on that 700 improver than I was on my stock boost.
Wow.
And I don't know why. I think it's just I never let off.
You don't let off.
I was wide open.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was going slower, but I was probably twice as fast through the corners.
You're
I was
smooth,
just,
yeah.
you're in control.
And what's funny, and we'll kind of, this will help transition to what I want to talk about next with you guys, but I was having that same conversation with Kosturki this morning, is there are certain lines in the backcountry that we can get on a stock like NA, and we can't get on a boost because, you come into something a little too hot on the boost, you have to let off, and when you let off, it rears up, and then like where that's like there's a certain steepness and a certain speed that you can literally just hold an NA wide open and you're in control.
Right. Yep.
And I'm sure you guys kind of experienced that.
Oh, yeah. They actually, it's kind of funny that you're mentioning that. We had a big joke with the engineers this year. The first day, they brought that mod out for me to ride like 1 day or 2 days before the first race, and I'd never rode a mod before, like knew nothing about it. And I rode it for a while. I was doing pretty good, and they plugged into the computer, and they're like, okay, now go run it. I think you're going to like this. And I'm like, went out. I was fast. I was like, oh, this is way better. He's like, oh, that's good. Hey, save that in the computer as the Samantha tune. I'm like, okay, what's that? He's like, oh, we took a few pounds of boost away.
Oh, way.
I'm like, oh, no. Yeah, so I was running. They gave me less horsepower, and I was faster.
That's all. That's funny.
When have we worked that direction? I mean, I remember running 13 pounds of boost.
Yep.
I mean, and we're running 7 pounds.
We're
of
running
boost.
less boost on our 9 mods than the production
stock
boost.
Yeah. You guys hear that?
They're
That's
just
crazy.
And they're wicked.
Yeah.
They're wicked.
I mean, they're lightweight. They rotate. I mean, they're quick. They're really quick.
So I gotta ask you guys. So Toby, man, you and your team, you build some incredible mod sleds. Super cool. Sam, you're running Keith's old mod. But I gotta ask. So Andy and Keith's new mods from this year. Did you guys ever get a chance to ride them?
Yeah.
I did not hop on it. Purposely.
That was probably a smart thing. Sam, tell us about it.
Because Keith was testing, trying to get his mod similar.
He
to
was
what
so
he was
comfortable with the one you were riding.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So we did a lot of swapping back and forth. So, I mean, he never gave me permission to take it. But when he was taking my sled, of course, I did jump on it quite a few times.
Yeah.
And I don't know what exactly they did, but in the direction they're headed, it was not as aggressive as the old mod.
Mm-hmm.
It was tamer. I think it had more power, but the delivery of it was different. And I mean, the weight, the way it handles. I mean, I don't know what those guys back in Roseau, they do some pretty incredible stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, just how those sleds work in bumps and, you know, making a suspension work in big bumps and slippery conditions and Jackson Hole vertical walls. And they put in some work. It's pretty impressive.
It's so different, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, most of the people watching this, you know, would have never been on a hill climb course and just or understand or know like a setup, but it's so dang different. And that's my point too. It's like, you know, what I set my sled up, if I took that and put screws on it in Jackson, I would be the laughing stock of like.
Yeah. Well, and you basically need two different setups. The early season where we're running on rocks and stumps and slippery, icy dirt, to massive trenches and like big G out bumps on the ski hills late in the season.
Yeah.
I mean, you need two completely different setups.
Yeah, and it changes just at Jackson throughout the day from icy
in
to
the morning.
slushy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, suspension setups change, and that's where experience comes into play. And
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, RMSHA's really controlled power to the ground, and then, you know, being able to put it through gates.
Yeah. Now, which one is it? The red on the left and blue
Yeah.
on there. I mean,
Red is right.
Red is right. Red is right.
But then
Okay.
I'm always
No.
like, wait, do you go
That's a
right of red?
problem.
Do you go right of red?
Exactly.
That's why I
that
missed
cost-
the first gate.
I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to follow these guys' tracks. I don't have time to think about that.
That cost me a 600 championship.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You went on the right of red?
I followed Wes Selby's tracks.
Oh, no.
And we had a tiebreaker, and it was wild. But, yeah, when you're going, you know, you'd think it'd be fairly easy, and we've been doing it for 10 years. But you get to the top of Jackson, and you're out of breath, and you can't think. You gotta know which way to go.
It's
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows about adrenaline and racing, and when you have to go, that's kind of what's unique about our sport is you're literally going from 0 to 100. There's no go out in the field and warm up.
I know.
Like
I
we
don't
wheel
know how you
those
guys
we
do
wheel those 270 horse mod sleds out of the trailer, pull them up on the line, and we literally get on them and hold them wide open to the top of Jackson. Like you get to the top and you're just like, okay, well, what just happened? Like, did I even go through the gates? Like,
Yeah.
it
happens fast.
You black out.
yeah. I mean, it's basically like if we were to fly you out in a helicopter, have your sled warmed up, and you have to pull the gnarliest line you've ever pulled.
Yep.
To get to the top.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I agree. I mean, I just it's all those things that like I didn't enjoy about like hill climbing. I didn't enjoy that. Like that pressure of like I've been sitting in my trailer all day watching people like roll down the hill, and now I'm supposed to like go from 0 to 100 and like be perfect.
Yep.
I hated that. And you guys can embrace that and use that. And I mean,
Well, and like backcountry riding, you know, you have those days. You get, you know, you might not be feeling it, but you have those days where you're getting a flow, and you're taking all these good lines, you're hitting everything perfect, and it progresses throughout the day, you know. And I mean, training for that on a RMSHA course is nearly impossible. It's just seat time.
yeah. Well, guys, so we covered some hill climb stuff, which is awesome. It's cool to hear kind of the behind the scenes on the sleds and the prep and all of that. But I gotta ask you guys about something that I was so damn jealous and envious of last year. Was your trip up to Revelstoke early season?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it looked like so much damn fun.
It was fun.
It was chaos.
So break it all down. Like, so how'd the whole trip come about? Like, who was all there? Where'd you guys stay? Like, I mean, and for those of you guys who like are, you know, make sure you check out their social stuff. They posted a ton of cool videos.
Muskoka's got a whole YouTube of it. He was with us the whole time.
Awesome.
Yeah, multiple YouTubes.
Actually, was that a trip where we were like, heading to Sealy. This was like 1 day notice. And
Yeah,
Keith's like,
yeah, exactly.
You know what? We
Keith
might as
is
well
like,
just go
we're
to
not
Revy.
He's like, we're not going to Canada. We let's just go to Sealy.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm getting ready, and we're going to take the trailer. And the night before, he's like, we should just go to Canada.
I called it, too. I told Toby, I'm like, he's just going to end up, we might as well pack for Canada because he's going to want to go up there. Like, all the boys are up there. And sure enough, that night, he's like, man, let's just go to Canada. Like, and we're like, okay.
So we're scrambling for the next day, and we throw 7 sleds in. And
Dylan's got to prep for Canada. He's like, man, I don't even have my passport right now. Like,
yeah, I didn't have my passport ready, and
our sleds were not prepared for a trip to Canada. Like, we pulled them out of the crate. And we're
I was ready for a break-in ride.
Uh-huh. Well,
now we're gonna go.
What better break-in ride than going to Revelstoke with like
all
the
boys.
best riders in the world? And,
Yeah.
So so you're in the parking lot. There's like all these dudes. It's chaos, and so kind of break down that first day.
Yeah, we were late, I think.
Yeah, we were late.
I don't remember what for. We were working on something or letting Keith finish his yoga or whatever. But we show up to the parking lot, and I'm just like, okay, I see Turcotte. I see Chase Yacht and Muskoka. I didn't even know Muskoka at the time. Ty, how do you say his last name? Dochers or something?
Yeah.
He was there, and Caleb Kosterke, Jay, Blaine. I'm like,
Were they there first day?
I'm like, okay, hold on. This is like a RMSHA race here. I haven't rode all year, and I'm about to go from 0 to 100. And
Same thing.
Yeah, we took off, and man, we got off the road. Like, there was a bunch of banner. Like, half the YouTube is just all of us being goons in the parking lot, and like, oh no, actually, we left the parking lot. I'm on a brand new booster. And we have to ride up the highway a little ways.
Brand
so
new,
I'm like,
never ridden it?
Never
like
ridden
0
it.
miles.
0 miles. And I'm going up the highway, and all of a sudden everybody like crosses the highway, and I like go out on the highway, and I'm like, you know how it is you can't turn on the highway, and I just like go give it a shimmy shake to like point myself to the snowbank so I don't have to go up the vertical part.
Yeah.
My ski just goes sideways, flat on the highway. And I don't know if you guys have been to Canada, but that's a very busy highway. I think it's the main highway through
Your
Canada.
snowmobile's on the side, brand new, 0 miles.
Got
I
scratched up the side panel.
Scraped the side panel, the spindle, the running board, the bumper. About 1 minute from the
It's like when you
truck.
have a new helmet and you drop it on the ground. You
throw
just
it.
dropped your snowmobile.
I'm like, all right, we got that out of the way. Let's go ride.
I might have just turned around and gone home. All right, you know what? This isn't working out
Chris,
for me.
I didn't even know half these people were riding with. And
We
they're
had,
just like, who is this goon? Why did you bring him? I'm like, I jammed my wrist. I'm like trying to stand my sled up on the highway. I'm like, this is the worst day of my life. I'm going to go home now.
Yeah, we got like 20 guys, and we all stop, and we're like, where's Sam? And he's picking his sled up off the highway.
Semis are like honking going around. I'm just like,
gosh,
don't
dude,
mind
that
me,
is
man.
Awesome.
It's a total me move.
Yeah,
Right? Like,
yeah.
ugh.
All right, so you get off the highway finally, and you're heading up, and so I mean we all know like riding with a big group can be kind of tricky, and or it's like the group separates itself, right? And
Right.
Keith is known for this,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, yeah, we can start with 20, but then there's 4 dudes who end up riding together,
Yeah,
or,
sure.
So is
See,
that kind of how it went?
No.
Really?
Surprisingly. With the
Okay.
first hill, we
Yeah.
get out. It's like this big, like, kind of helly ski area off to our right, and it's a pretty gnarly climb to get up into the zone. So, like, low snow conditions. So, like, there was some hard enduro action going on, like, kind of bottomless down there, and everybody's, first rides. Everybody's a little jittery. And it turned into a full-on RMSHA course in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And everybody's just like one guy would make it up higher, and he spends time videoing, and people get stuck, people running each other over. 'Cause you got 20 guys that are,
Good.
they want to be the first
Yeah.
one to the top.
Yeah.
And, like, if somebody's sled is in the way, it's getting ran over. Like, it was full-on chaos. And it didn't change the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it was. It was I mean, you guys got to watch the YouTube. It was pretty intense.
Yeah. Toby, where were you at and all that?
The days kind of run together. So,
How many days did you guys ride?
oh geez,
You had enough
4.
parts
4
for
or
4?
5.
4, but I think the 4th day we were down to like 5 of us, 6
okay.
of us.
yeah, it was day 2. You've been in A-arm, and then we were scratching together parts. And
Yeah.
a little low snow conditions, but most of the time I was gonna sit back and watch the chaos a little bit.
Uh-huh.
It was fairly fun to watch. That was that video of Sturkey launching it into the rocks.
Into the rocks.
That
Yeah.
was,
And we went
day
up
2.
check on him on that. Was that day 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Which was wild. Like, the video's one thing, but you show up there and there's a 40-foot rock that he just dove into.
Yeah.
Launched into.
It's
Yeah.
insane. And I don't know. I tried to just stay back and stay controlled because it was going to get a little wild.
Oh boy, yeah, and Caleb, that's actually kind of how we got our nickname, the RAMSHA boys. I don't know how we got that or why, but Caleb, we're like sitting there and somebody was wrenching on something and we were hitting this one like technical like over a log jump like around a tree and like nobody could make it out the top, and it was one line in, one line out, and we have all of this really great terrain and all of like Jay, Blaine, Keith, Dylan, Toby, me, like that some of the Canadian boys jumped in on the fun too. They're like, why are you guys doing this? There is so much
riding here?
Why are you riding in each other's tracks?
You're
the
trying
entire
to
way?
jump this log and climb up and through the regrowth trees. Like, what is the point? And well, it's like, well, because nobody can make it.
Yeah.
We want to be the first one to make it.
Yeah.
Every guy there does, and I don't know if we ever did or not.
Kind of reminds me of our ride when you guys were down and we were trying to get that rock head wall at my place. And it's like, dude, why are
would
we
you do
riding
that?
here?
It's like,
well, we can't get up it, okay?
It's the challenge.
We're risking everything for the glory.
Yeah.
You know.
So, like, with a group like that, you know, guys that you haven't ridden with before, but and this is what like intrigues me and why I'm very much looking forward to the time where I'm not so married to BBA and working like
just to
doing
go have fun with the boys.
just like because I love riding with other people too, and that's what I really enjoy about my job. But like who surprised you? You know, you're riding with these new people, like you know who like.
The Canadian boys.
Yeah, I didn't know Muskoka. You know, when we
Muskoka
showed
and
up.
Ty, they're.
Yeah.
I don't hear much about them. Like, yeah, they got the good YouTube, and they don't do anything crazy. You know, they're not. They were everywhere we went.
They're just very sound riders.
They're just right behind us. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, hey guys.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm just like, okay, these guys can hang.
Yeah.
And I was, you know, they're really impressive to ride with.
Gosh,
Yep.
that's cool.
They're just A to B, they're there. They're
Yeah.
gonna get there.
My favorite clip was, and I can't remember whose it was, but someone had a 360 cam when there was like 15 of you guys
Going up a pillow field.
Yeah, dude. Man, that looked freaking fun.
Yeah. That was.
We're like, all right, take off, and first one to the
First
top.
one at the top.
Yeah.
And you could see, you know, Keith had a couple mishaps, but he like then you would see him like charge up and get here and a little hung up, and someone else would come around, and it looked cool.
Yeah, that was. We had some really good clips, and Caleb, he was on one.
He's
like
unreal,
the
huh?
Energizer Bunny.
Yeah.
I could sit there and watch him do stuff all day.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
my body hurt watching it, but he's a tough son of a gun.
Yeah, what he did at the top of that pillow field after that climb was unreal.
What do you do?
Oh yeah, we
Triple hop over.
on completely
Jump, yeah.
tracked up, packed down, destroyed hill. He just like we're all parked there,
Yeah.
and he just like rolls in there and
What's the
throws-
show on?
Keeps
I'm just
going.
like, okay, all right, go off, Caleb. Good for you, man. But you know what I was impressed with, like, we're all kind of new with riding with each other, most of us, and you got 20 of the most talented riders in the industry, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna get out of hand today. Everybody just had fun. Nobody pushed each other out of their comfort zone. Like, everybody had their moment, and we actually, I mean, nobody was out there trying to prove that they were the best snowmobiler there. And that's what I love about the snowmobile industry is nobody's, you know, we're all on each other's team.
Yeah.
You know, we're not out, it's not a competition out there. Everybody's just out there to have fun, and that's kind of unique. I think that was what I was most surprised for.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's not a competition.
I mean, it was, but like nobody went.
It didn't get to the point like where you don't dislike someone because they're beating you.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
Exactly.
getting dangerous or being stupid or
Yeah.
taking lines they shouldn't be, you know, being smart about it.
Yeah, and everybody was
Yeah.
inclusive. Like nobody was hogging it.
Exactly.
Like they're like, hey, you know, go hit that. Like, you know, some people that are a little more shy to go step out into the camera, and it's like, man, just go give her a go.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was really cool.
Trust me, I was riding with you guys in spirit. I mean, it looked so damn fun, and just like, you know, what I dream of, right? Of like that type of terrain. Those early season snow conditions are so damn fun and challenging.
Just having all your buddies there too.
Yeah. So it was cool, man.
Kind of reminds me of like something that I wanted to talk about in this podcast. The first time Toby and I came down to ride with you, I'm like, never met Chris before in my life. Like, Toby's like, yeah, I gotta take some equipment down to Colorado. I like hit up Brant, and do you want to go? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like, this is my time, you know, to get to ride with Chris Brant.
We
And
got sleds on goosenecks and then
And you guys got
skid
stuck.
steers.
driving all night.
got stuck on the pass, slide
yeah.
backwards.
Yeah. Oh, I was high marked before I even got to Brant's. Yeah, we show up there and meet Chris, and God, I mean, it was everything I expected. Really great. I mean, the shop, the food. I mean, you're just super welcoming to us and super friendly. And we get to the shop that morning, and you walk by my sled, and you're just like, you're gonna be worthless on that thing. I'm like, dude, you've never even seen me ride.
You don't even know me.
I'm like, I can ride a snowmobile, okay? Toby and I were on a stock 850 Chaos 155s.
I was like,
And you're just like, you guys might as well just stay home. I'm like, who does this guy think he is? Like, we can ride snowmobiles. And we go out, and I think that Toby and I were both stuck in the meadow in the first, 20 minutes. And Brant's just cha-ching, gotcha.
well, you know, and that year was a sugary snow year for us, like extra sugar. And so, like, when you see something flat and meadow, you think you can ride your snowmobile on it. And in my world, dude, you're like diving skis over the bars. What is going on here? I'm like,
Chris totally set us up. We're in this beautiful meadow,
Set
and
a
he goes,
trap.
he's like, man, I'm gonna sit here and get a video. Like, I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make it on Chris Brandt's video. This is gonna be, this is sweet. He's like, yeah, just come around the edge of this meadow, make a few pow turns, and then cut through these trees right here. And there's like a gap in the trees, like there's snow on the branches. I'm like, okay, this will look really cool. And it's just wide enough for sled. And I like powder turn, and I just like come to go through the trees, and I just hesitate just a little bit, you know, coming through, and just whop, stuck in
And
the
I'm
flat
right-
meadow.
I'm right behind him.
Toby's right behind me. I'm just like, we just got
Sweet,
played.
guys.
We just got played right
Nice
there.
one.
And then Brant pulls up. Sweet guys. Pulls off. And then you step off your sled and you go to your waist and you can't move. I mean, I've never
You're
ridden
at
anything
12,
like
you're
it.
at 12,000 feet, can't breathe. I'm like, I'm not coming back to this place.
And then there's Kyle going through the trees at 40 miles an hour.
Yeah. He's got a 12-pack of A-arms in his tunnel bag, though. So,
yeah.
But it was fun. I mean, it completely changed me as a rider. You know, after 3 days, I was twice as aggressive. And
Yeah.
Well,
And
no one's put the fundamentals of, you know, I came from a world of high school sports, and you train and you go to camps and you have a set of fundamentals. And I don't think anyone's put a set of fundamentals together for snowmobiling until you did, you know. And that's where it's like, all right, where you get back to the basics, back to the fundamentals, and create good habits. And that was good for me at that point.
Well, that was the most enjoyable thing for me is, you know, you guys joined our, like, just a normal group, right? And our 3-day process, and day one is we're doing drills. And so, and it's always tough because, like,
you know, you guys are coming down. I know you just want to ride, but like that was really cool. Me putting you through like what we actually do and being able to like, hey, stop, Toby, dude, like, hey, you can't put your foot down in our snow. So and that's okay, right? And you're so reliant on it at home, but what's happening at home, you're not carrying as much momentum here because you're reliant on that. So just move that foot back, get those eyes a little farther forward, square those shoulders, and like, you know, those just couple little things right there, like you said, Sam, it changed you forever. So like our challenging snow conditions force you to be, you know, carry more momentum, like ride neutral more. Don't be reliant on like the sled. You got to be reliant on you. So it was pretty cool.
Well, and I've told you this before. I've never had anybody teach me really anything about snowmobiling.
Yeah.
It's just like you either got there or you didn't.
Yeah.
You know, you either made it to the top or not.
Well, and that's where you have a gap. Like, if you grew up on a sled, like you learn muscle memory, you learn what works and what doesn't work. But when you just, you know, anyone getting into the sport, you know, it is hard to find a good teacher. It's like, well, you just hop on and go, and it's like, and you'll learn, you'll get it. But that's where you can really, you know, progress someone very quickly if they have a set of fundamentals that they can follow and know what the proper technique is.
Exactly. I mean, you can be the strongest and most fit person in the world. I mean, look at like the Navy SEALs and stuff. You've taken them riding, whatever, and the toughest guys, and if they don't know the fundamentals, it's about maybe an hour and they're done.
Yeah. Well, and you know, and then actually, Sam, you came down the next year when we had Keith and Matt, and that was right prior Cole, and then that was prior to Jackson. And we just had like 2 incredible days, and then you guys went and crushed it at Jackson. So I was like, it was, you know, it was brand training, you know. So no, I mean that means a lot. It's you know, anyone who has come to our place, you know, they've got to see that. But it was cool having you guys in our. I mean, I want to go ride your zone so bad, but you know, for you guys to come down to me and you know, ride our challenging conditions, I thought
taking us to your good spots, and I'm sure you didn't give us all of them, but I did. I went back, I think this year or something with Kyle, or the year before, and
last year
you said do not go.
I had one rule. I said do not go, and then Kyle said, okay, so that's where we should go then.
We're like, well, first we're like, okay, you know, I don't want to piss them off or anything, so let's just go
just to the tip.
We'll just take a little poke in there. 3 hours later, we're just like, oh, we should probably get back to the group. Like, where are the guys at? They're just down there just watching us. Like, they just love that stuff. It was pretty cool. All right, well, we'll wrap this up, guys. Talk to me. Let's finish it off with, you know, plans, goals, ambitions for this year. Toby?
Yeah, so I mean, last year, the goal is to build off last race for me. I mean, the entire last season was about, like, I've always wanted to. Last year was about finishing strong. You know, that's you get there, you qualify. The prior year, I qualified for every race, and it's like, you know, just got to push through from that podium to get some wins. And so you're always looking for that next level, and that came at Bear Valley last race. I'd never won a King, been 12 years, and snagged 2 of them.
Sweet.
So,
way to finish, dude.
Yeah, that was like a huge. It just felt like weight off my shoulders. Just so hopefully try to build off that momentum and that confidence, and go get some more. And
so let me ask you about that. So 12 years to get 2 King titles. What in your mind was the difference for you in that moment to gain those 2? What was the difference?
Oh, it's man. I could go on.
More throttle.
Yeah. Well, no, it's so much more than that.
Yeah,
though.
it's not. Yeah,
it's I mean, what happened a few years ago with getting, you know, I would say, like, you know, getting fundamentals back, and then you know, I've been focusing on fundamentals, and ever since we came ride with you. Like, I had 2 ACL surgeries on my right knee, which really changed the way I rode, after that.
I bet.
And I struggled to get back in that habit. And then, really got sled setup dialed, and then it was back to, just getting aggressive and building that next level. But
being here too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then the mental state.
90% of it.
Yeah.
And I felt really comfortable that day. And when I snagged that improver win, I've always put a lot of pressure on myself, which every racer does, to try to go win. And after winning improved, I told my stepdad, Kurt, he's been to every race but one in the last 12 years of racing pro.
That's cool.
And I said, I don't even care. I can just go home, and I'm happy. Like, I won Improved King, like, flying high. Like, Mod King, I'm like, or Mod Premier, I was like, I don't even care. And I said, I don't care. And he's like, well, that is when you win.
Yeah.
It's when you don't care.
Sure.
And I'm like,
not thinking about it.
all right, well, I'm going to go run this one. And I had one hiccup at the top. I knew it was good. Like, I knew when I was coming in the last quarter it was good. And it was like, just finish. Same things running through my mind. And I had one hiccup. And I was like, I don't know. It was pretty good, but I don't know if it was
He was
perfect.
sending it.
And I come down, and Keith's sitting at the bottom, and I'm like, he's going to tell me, good job on improved.
Nice try. Better luck next year.
Better luck next time. And he just goes, you got it. And it was
That had to feel cool.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think I remember Keith giving you a pointer or something before that, and he said never again. Never again.
No, he can't take it easy on us anymore. He's helped me out a ton throughout my race career, and he's awesome to race with. But I mean, as far as a competitor, he doesn't get any more fierce, and so it was pretty cool to snag a couple, and so basically just for next year, try to bring that confidence into every race, and then, get one at Jackson.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sam?
Yeah, I had a good season last year. I felt like got a few more kings, and I think Jackson was my worst race for me, and I think it's because and some people helped me realize this. I went in there wanting nothing but to be number one in everything. And I think that's what killed me the most, is expecting so much out of myself that I was,
Unrealistic
third.
expectations.
Yeah, like instead of going out and doing what I always used to do, it just have fun and go see how fast I can be on the course.
Yeah.
And whatever my time is, it is, And I think that's what I'm going to try to get back to more this year, is not expecting to beat Keith every weekend, because it's not realistic. Keith is an animal.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to try to beat him, but I'm not going to expect to beat him every time and not put that pressure on myself, Yeah. And just I want to be top 3, Yeah. Just be consistent, top 3. Don't expect to be number 1 every time.
Yeah.
And I think I'll have better results. And I had
it's the same mindset Toby put himself on that mod run at the end of the year, right?
You don't have to win this, right?
I don't know, dude. I'm just gonna go out and I'm feeling as good as I ever have. I just won my first, and I'm just gonna go ride and have fun with it, and then look what happened.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and that's what happened. Like, that was the difference for, again, I have to date myself, but I go back to X Games in 2007. I showed up there and I was going to win. I knew it.
Yep.
From a mind standpoint, I was prepared, from my tricks, I was going to win. And then fast forward to 2008, where everyone expected me to win, and I was on this chassis that I hated and I wasn't comfortable. I had terrible lead up to X Games. I got knocked out. All this stuff. Yeah. I still had the same skill set, but mentally I was I do not want to be here, and I don't want to do it.
Yep.
And so that's when I knew that I shouldn't, that I was going to do something different. And so it's so crazy how snowmobiling is so mental. It's the same in the backcountry, and that's where I love
the mental side of the backcountry side of things. I ride with so much confidence and speed because I can rely on, you know, my craft that I have practiced so much.
Right.
You know, when we go do the drills and I make you guys do them, I'm doing them too, right? Like all my clients, I tell them that, like, if you guys didn't notice, I'm not just sitting on the sideline yelling at you. I'm doing the exact same thing and like perfecting the craft and just to be at that level and that comfort is so fun.
Yeah, and that's what I've noticed watching you ride is I'm literally watching your drills when you're going up and doing gnarly tree lines.
It's the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing, and you have mastered it. I mean, it's incredible. It's really impressive.
And it's easy to say, you just got to have confidence. You need to go be confident.
Yeah.
Like, the mental game's unreal. Like, I have to do more to gain that confidence. And like you said, like, you have years of experience. And that's, you know, that's in a race course, it's every part of it. So it's, you know, the power, the suspension. And to get that all dialed and be confident in your setup.
Yeah.
And then be confident in yourself to execute. And, you know, same thing. Like, I'm going to win. You know, there's that mindset and that drive, but you have to balance it with just be yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
That's kind of what I did last year. I mean, putting that much pressure on myself, I'm like, okay, I'm at that point in my career, like that point in the industry, like I really need to win big here. And to the point where I put so much pressure on, I was just like, this isn't fun.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go back to where when I was coming up, like, holy cow, I just beat Keith. Like, I did not expect that, you know, like that first time and whatever. And I want to get back to that feeling of just loving it and having, you know, it is what it is. And I think I'm going to have better results from it, too.
Yeah.
So.
And I think there's a balance of power of will and then just being able to be relaxed and confident.
There is.
Confident,
And you know, one other thing too, as you guys were talking about, it's like there's so many, you have to have the mental fortitude and you have to be in good shape and all that stuff, but like sled setup and everything and like how I relate the sled setup side of things, what's so unreal right now is like we can go get on a stock Matrix snowmobile and we are at one with the damn snowmobile.
I know.
I mean, it is unreal.
My race sled out of the crate to the race course, not that much different.
Yeah.
Basically, we change it so that I don't hit the bottom when I hit a huge jump of the shocks.
That's it.
It's a out of the crate snowmobile.
Yeah. I love riding with like the confidence and you know when I set up my personal sled, you know my big lightweight snowmobile. I mean, dude, I feel like I'm Superman and I can do anything. And you know and it takes so very few things. I mean, like we all know, right? You can go get on a bone stock exhaust, stock suspension, and go like do all the things we do, which is pretty badass. So
we're changing less and less all the time, and it's nice to not have to.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really is.
You can go buy it, get a out of the box sled, and it's amazing what it'll do.
Yeah, cool. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed. That was a lot of fun. It's always good catching up with you guys. Again, just keep kicking butt. I'll be watching on the RMSHA circuit, and let's try to hook up on the snow again. It's been
mid-December.
It's been too long. Yeah, mid-December. Let's do it.
Heck yeah.
All right. Cool.
Thanks, Chris.
See you guys.
Yep.